Meeting for the legislative, December 14th, do the budget. Local. Yeah, we're not gonna do a pledge because we have a flat. Roll call.
Doherty.
I'm right next to you.
Mrs. Reich. Here. Mr. Brooks.
Here.
Mr. Salamone.
Here.
Mr. Conklin.
Here.
Mr. Alvarez.
Here.
Mr. Perillo.
Here.
Mr. Steingart. Mr. Sorensen.
Here.
Okay. Let's get right into it.
I'll read the notice.
Yes, please.
There will be a special meeting of the county legislature on Tuesday, December 14, 2021 at 9 a.m. in the legislative chambers, 100 West Street, Monticello, New York. The purpose of the meeting is to adopt the 2022-2027 capital plan, adopt the 2022 county budget, and any other business that may come before the legislature.
Yes, go to it.
I have a question before we start.
Yes.
So, why did this have to be because I've not been feeling well, I could have forgotten. Why did this have to be a special meeting today and could not be done on Thursday?
Because they have to do the levies.
Which is today?
No.
No, when?
Thursday.
We can continue it.
They need to do the levies between now and then. So
Between now and Thursday?
correct.
Yes.
So this could not hold off till Thursday,
Absolutely not.
where we could have had more people present? I'm just trying to clarify that in my head.
Like going to 9:30 is gonna be a problem. They have a lot of work to do.
Going to 9:30 today would be a
Correct.
problem.
They have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
Jenny and I have to get all the numbers together and confirm.
So, but that's the tax levy.
And I have to
But we have
prepare the
other
resolution
resolutions
for the
on here as
re-levies.
well.
Correct.
But
Which
those
are part-
resolutions impact the budget.
I'm sorry.
The resolutions have to be passed first because they impact,
The budget,
could potentially
okay.
impact the levy if you change the budget.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify
So
that.
you have to vote on them, then the last is the levy.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Good. I just want to stay, I'm sure we're all very uncomfortable being in here.
Especially with me, not the plague.
Stay out there. Thank you very much.
You know, I know we're in here, but why are we inside this room? And please don't tell me because they are drawing blood out there.
I'm going to tell you that.
That is the reason.
I'm not
That is the
moving
reason.
them.
They had a blood drive scheduled.
So how come if they have the blood drive scheduled, we didn't schedule a meeting based on that? Because that's our meeting room.
I wish you'd keep your mask on, to be quite frank with you.
See, it's not going to change my opinion about it
I
because
understand.
this is not open to the public.
Okay.
And those meetings should be open to the public. This is a special meeting that you called and it should be open to the public.
Okay,
So
it is open to the public.
I just want for the record.
See, Ira just wanted in.
I just want to make sure for the record that that is put out that window.
Okay, good.
And that.
All right, resolution number 1, set salary for the...
Am I clear on that, Anne Marie?
Crystal clear. Resolution number 1, set salary for the Sullivan County Sheriff.
I'm gonna make a motion for discussion.
Nadia?
Second.
Mike?
So in the resolution, it says 110,000, which is what we agreed on, correct?
That's correct.
With any increases moving forward?
No, so the way it works is on elected officials like Mike, the clerk, Nancy, they set their salary one time in the beginning of their term.
It's impermissible to change the salary of an elected
But didn't we
official.
speak about that at the meeting?
Once the term starts, you can't change it. As of January 1st, you cannot change the salary of an elected official. So that's why you're setting it now in December.
No, I understand that, but I thought we had discussion and somebody had brought up, I think it was, Mr. McGuire, that said if we put in a 1% increase every year, it would be acceptable.
You can't, that's set. Then you've set it with
But does it
increases.
have to be set in this resolution?
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever the resolution.
setting, yes.
Setting this out.
Whatever you put in the resolution is set for the term. If it includes annual increases, that's permissible as long as the resolution is adopted before January
And I
1st.
thought that's what we discussed.
That's what
I don't know what you guys discussed, I wasn't
So
there.
you can make it like 110, 2%.
That was the discussion.
You want to make it actually 10 plus?
You can make it 110 and 2% more, 2% more, 2%.
But this is what we discussed, and I thought it would be in here. I don't want to,
We voted on this.
but it's not in this resolution, is what I'm saying.
I
Or
think,
it's not clear.
Nadia, I think what I brought up, instead of giving the one-time increase for the 4 years, I was recommending that we do 2% on not just Mike's and Nancy's, but on all the salaries. That's where that conversation went. But I believe what's in there now is what was finally voted on.
Which is
Not the
110.
2%, is 110. I think you're also getting confused because later on, there's another amendment asking for a different rate. So I think that's what you may be confusing.
There's a,
Later on in the document, there's additional, there's going back besides voting on
so
this.
there's another
There's another resolution
amending this
for a
one.
higher price.
Okay.
I think that's what you're getting confused.
No, I clearly remember a 1% or 2% increase every year for the duration of the sheriff's term. Correct.
And I remember,
That's
because
what I
I
remember.
spoke in detail why he deserves more money than what he's making, and I made the
Right.
point that even when I was a lieutenant, I was getting paid more than he was.
So,
This is what was
Louis, if you
approved.
want to amend it, if you want to amend the resolution, now's the time to
Yeah, and I
amend it.
want to amend the resolution, and I explained very clearly, and I said it, you know, anytime somebody sues, anything happens in that jail, they sue Benny, they sue the sheriff, they sue Hal, they sue everybody. They don't even have to be there. They could be at home having a drink, you know, relaxing at a barbecue or something like that. Mike doesn't drink anymore, but having a barbecue or something like that, and they're getting sued.
and the other
I-
resolution was more money, correct, Ira?
Yes.
The other one that's later on is additional.
So what
money.
do you want to amend it to, Louis?
I want to amend it at least to 120 where he's comparable to the people that work with him. You know, when the lieutenant is making more money than he is, and he has more responsibility than the lieutenant has.
But no increases in between every year, correct?
I thought we were going to increase the salary, that's what we agree on it.
On the
Yeah,
110.
I'm with you here, I thought that's what it said, and it would come
Okay,
on.
okay.
That was my, I don't, you
So
know,
we're going to call the vote on,
No, we need a second.
on the
Okay, I need a
amendment for
second. Mike?
120.
to what?
The second on your amendment for 120.
Yes.
okay,
By Louis, second by Mike.
so 120 is on the floor. So, what's that?
You have to call the vote on the amendment.
So, all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
120,
Alright.
They're chirping.
Aye.
All in favor of the
No,
okay,
just that one.
okay.
Huh?
You're not.
So-
I'm
so-
I'm against it.
8-1.
Okay, so, okay. So all in favor of the resolution as amended?
Fine.
Aye.
Aye. All against?
Ira, okay.
Okay, number 2, set salary for the Sullivan County Treasurer.
Mike,
Move it.
George.
George second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Fine.
Aye.
9-0.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 3, adopt 2022 tax levy.
I want to discuss this a minute before we go
Moved
on.
by Alan, second by Mike.
Yeah, I didn't bring my glasses, but I want you to read something. Tentative budget for the county for the fiscal year of 2021 or 2022?
2022.
So that's wrong there. So that has to be amended.
No, this is,
Yeah,
But it was
says Congress
advertised.
tentative budget for the county for the fiscal year of 2021. We
Louis,
already
right,
had
yes.
2021.
okay.
And the second one, I have a little bit of confusing. It's December 9, 2021, we had a meeting at 10:45, and I think it was 11 o'clock. It was a different time, and it was protested by the public.
Yes, the December 9th, 10:45 is what was published in the River Reporter and the Democrat. That was on the public hearing legal notice.
Did that meeting happen at 10:45?
It happened after 10:45, but it was.
Oh,
it's afterwards, okay.
So everyone had the right to be in the room at 10:45. They chose not to be in the room. God bless.
No, I just feel like time is wrong there.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Is there a second on the amendment for the change in the date from 2021 to 2022?
No, Mike.
Okay. So all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? I don't know where you're going today, Ira, so.
You're opposed, Ira?
No, no.
No.
I'm just giving you
Mine's it.
opportunity. So all in favor of the resolution as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
9-0.
9-0.
Okay. To adopt the 2022 to 2027 capital plan.
This is a roll call vote.
Move it.
Moved by Nadia,
Second.
second by Louis.
Okay.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
Mr. Solomoni.
Yes.
Mr. Conklin.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes.
Mr. Perillo.
Yes.
Mr. Steingart.
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen.
Yes.
That passes 9. Number 5, adopt the 2022 budget as amended. There has to be another amendment of this.
And a roll call vote.
So moved.
Moved by Mike. I'll second it. Seconded by Nadia.
Okay, so we'll delete assigned counsel. For the clarification, you have an attachment?
Administrator of assigned counsel needs to be removed from the management salary study. She's an attorney and she's required to have a JD for that position. So she needs to be put on the schedule that we're anticipating on doing this year for the county attorneys. So we just have to remove her title from.
Now Mike's salary is in this new budget amendment as well?
Correct.
Yeah, we'll have to amend that because that only reflects the 110.
Okay.
Do we have to amend that also?
Yeah.
Okay.
That, yeah.
Okay, so we need a motion to amend by deleting the assigned counsel, removing that.
I make a motion on the amendment.
Second.
Moved by Nadia, second by
I'll
Joe.
second it.
Are those the only two amendments we're making to this? Anybody else have
I don't
anything?
know what the second amendment was, I didn't.
That was Mike's
Second
salary.
You gotta
Is-
fix the salary for the sheriff. So
sorry.
101.
I'll move that.
All in favor?
Second.
Mike, George.
All in favor
Aye.
of the amendments?
Aye.
9-0.
Yeah, resolution as amended?
I'm gonna do a roll call vote. All right, well, I'm doing a roll call vote now on the 2022
Janet.
budget with the 2 amendments. Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
Mr. Solomoni.
Yes.
Mr. Conklin.
Yes.
Mr.
What's that?
Alvarez.
None of that is included?
Mr. Perillo.
Yes.
Hold on.
Mr.
Hold on, hold on,
Steingart.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hold on. The guy is saying that,
Things that were discussed as optional amendments.
The last group, that's why I'm voting no because of that.
What's the,
There were a whole bunch of optional ones at the end, and I'm voting no.
Right.
don't make comments.
I have copies.
You
Oh,
do?
well, look at this. Man, we love these bad people, bro. But this was all sent out last night.
oh, this is what was,
Can I-
got my Josh?
That's
the spreadsheet now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, back that up.
Which one you got, Dylan?
We're gonna table that resolution.
This is all
That
those
resolution,
optional?
right? We'll table
That's the
that
list?
resolution.
That's the complete list?
No,
That's
No,
my
we gotta,
understanding of what was
we gotta,
amended to include those.
yeah, you gotta.
The list, original list was longer, but
I
And
have
then
it.
I have to do another roll call vote.
Yeah,
Ira, you already know your.
Can I have a copy of that, Mike?
Absolutely.
While we're on a holding pattern here, I have a question about the, and I asked Michelle this yesterday, the discretionary, not the discretionary funding, I'm sorry. The plans in progress, Fred,
Better.
You are correct.
Josh is
Going
okay
once,
though.
going
oh, Josh, Freda did ask for money for plans in progress, and that was Nick's
I didn't,
complete.
it's not in there. She'd asked for 100,000, which is what we had funded in prior years. but
Because
it's
the
not.
towns did benefit from some of these projects that they
No, they
had.
did. I think part of it was depending on what you did with the structure there. It's a lot of work because you're giving out very small amount of grants. So you could be giving out $1,000. So it's a lot of
Of work for the
administrative
oversight.
work, anything from county attorney's office to planning to audit. It's a lot of work for, I understand 1,000 or 2,000 may benefit somebody, but
Right.
I think we were talking about if you were to do it, it'd probably make more sense to give a little bit bigger grants to fewer people, entities. But I understand you have the districts and whatever. It becomes administratively burdensome to give out. I mean, we're giving out 20 or plus grants that all require paperwork and it's a lot. You could, I mean, I'm not saying not to do it, I'm just saying that was one of the reasons why I didn't put it in, but it was 100, I mean, you don't have to do 100, it could be some subset of that, but that was typically prior to the pandemic was what was in the budget.
Right, prior to pandemic.
Yeah, we took it out in
Right.
20.
Stipend for the attorney's office, what is that all about?
So there's a thing called an Article 81, Section 9.6, that primarily deals with seniors, and Tina Hart, that used to be her position, and 3 years ago, when you eliminated that position, the work still has to be done. In fact, that position has gotten more work with the rise of COVID and people not going to nursing homes, so it's
Well, we just staffed that whole office up with top-end attorneys, and they're asking for more money. I'm sure with as many people we have in that office now, they could handle.
it's the same amount of people. It's the
I mean,
same amount of people. You
One
just,
less attorney.
yeah, it's one less attorney.
And then somebody else is taking the job of that attorney.
Correct.
Oh, well, people have to work for a living to get paid, you know what I mean? Every time everybody does something extra, they want to get paid for it.
Well, that's what I.
This is more than extra. The position should have been eliminated, to be quite honest. But we are where we are with it.
It's like when Mike said the last time.
People doing good jobs, and you get paid a salary to do a job, and we thank people for doing a good job. You want to reward them every time for doing something extra out of their norm, and you want to give them more money for it.
Michael Andrade spends almost every
And they're
Saturday.
getting paid $85,000 a year already.
Well, you have an entire position eliminated, and somebody doing the job of that entire position.
So I guess we were paying that attorney too much money if you could only pay him $3,500 to do the job now, so.
So that was a good move then. So I need a motion on the legislative amendments.
I need to understand these amendments first, and I know Josh sent this out yesterday, and I did look at it, but there
I
are
want a
things.
motion in a second before we talk.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, motion.
Nadia?
Second.
Joe?
So,
Go ahead.
I just want to take it from the top here. It says, to correct the salary for position 3302. Okay, that's a salary correction.
Correct.
Increase salary of the sheriff, which we just did.
Yeah,
So that could be eliminated here.
gotta go in the budget, otherwise.
It's gotta get into the
it lets
budget. You voted on a standalone resolution, this is now amending the budget document, so you have to get that incorporated into the document.
You're doing the same thing.
The first resolution set the salary, but it has to be included in the budget or it's
Okay,
not, or
all
it's
right.
not funded.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So,
can pay whatever you want.
increase the salary of county treasurer, add position of community service coordinator, which I agree with. The other ones are budget neutral. The other ones on the bottom are technical amendments. What the hell
The
is technical?
funding is
amendment?
correct, it's just like we had position changes in the back, that either the position number's wrong or the salary's wrong, but the funding up top is right, so it doesn't affect the levy, it's just the
Okay,
position
so
sheets
it's
in the back.
just-
It's just technical stuff in the
Not
back.
even including in.
It has nothing, it doesn't
Okay.
impact dollars at all.
Epidemiologist, which is reclassified. Stipend added to assistant county attorney, which Joe just brought up. Public health, which you're just changing the title to deputy public health director, which I'm in favor of. Now you're gonna increase salary for the captain and correction lieutenant.
So currently, these people are $15,000 behind their partners in road patrol.
Uh-huh.
So if you work for the sheriff's department, and if you're a lieutenant, you're making $84,000 or $81,000 in one part of the organization at the same rank, and then over here you're making $95,000. Why would anyone go to jail?
Okay, so-
Making more money.
That's a good clarification. So you're just trying to adjust the salary to
Yes,
make it commensurate with the other.
yes, and as you know, we didn't increase anyone else's salary more than $3,000. They're still way behind, but
You know, and that's what I
money is
mentioned,
what
that
money is.
you take an example of Hal Smith. And it happened the other day, I'm talking to him, he's working in the farm with the cows and everything else, and he's doing at the same time business for the sheriff department on the day he's off. And I saw that, so.
What was he doing to those?
Josh, in this amended
Feeding
budget, are we fixing the salary of that investigator that Louis kept bringing up all the time?
I don't see that in there, that was my next question, huh?
It's not in this proposed thing, there's nothing requested, so I'd have to know exactly what.
It was my impression that Megan and somebody else spoke to you about it. I don't know how true this is, because I never asked you personally.
It wasn't in her, I don't recall it being in her budget request.
I know that Louis brought this up at least 3 times in prior meetings.
Correct. Megan did not request it.
Also, last week,
I remember he worked for, that's what I said, he had 3 bosses, and any of those 3 bosses. He
We
worked for
offered to put them
Megan,
under the sheriff's department.
he
and
worked
didn't
under
wanna
the
go
sheriff
there.
department, and he
It would've
worked
been-
for John
Where we
Little.
could have compatible pay.
all right, also, talking about moving up, in Angela's office, there was her assistant was supposed to get a bump up, and we had discussion about it, and it wasn't put in this amendment either.
It's my understanding it was supposed to be in there. I asked for a senior, assistant auditor position. They decided to make it a senior accounts payable coordinator, so there could be a clear chain of command. She's been doing the job for 20 years. She should be grandfathered in, or at least a test given for promotional non-competitive. I've sent.
Was there a dollar
That was
amount?
my understanding.
Was there
I
a
don't
dollar
know
amount
if that-
associated with this?
There was.
The total dollar amount for that is $1,885.
1,000?
Only?
And it was going to be a
$1,000.
senior accounts payable coordinator.
Oh, you want me?
$885.
So it's not in this amendment right now?
No, I'd have to add it.
So we need to add that, and that investigator, that has to be fixed. It's gotta be fixed. Been brought up multiple times. I mean, the same goes for the lieutenant, right? In the sheriff department and in corrections, we want to adjust the salaries to make them comparable, in some equity. So this investigator, in my mind, has the same issues.
It is, because he's doing 2 positions.
So I wouldn't even know how to bring him up or how much money, I have no idea. That's Josh's role.
They eliminated an entire position, gave him
His
the
boss
job.
did not request the money. Where Angela's advocating for her people right now. Megan did not
I
advocate
understand
for
that,
person.
but unfortunately Megan is not here, the DA is not here, the sheriff is here.
I mean, we went round and round for 5 hours.
Did you have an issue with,
Ms. Galligan on her
Did
budget?
you have an issue with requesting an increase?
Frank will always say yes.
No, I think it would be appropriate. He is handling the 2 jobs, and I believe that they said the money could be covered from the state. So I'm not sure there has to be an outlay of cash.
That's what I told you the last time.
It would be a matter of just changing titles, and he's way under the pay of the other investigators that are working that squad. And I will tell you, he's invaluable. We had talked about bringing him over to us, but there were...
How much money are we talking, Josh? How much money are we talking?
Don't know.
We don't know, they didn't submit anything.
They didn't submit a request, so I don't know how it
So
was.
we're gonna give a blank check? Is that what the county does
No,
now?
he makes at least $75,000. He supervising deputies making almost 90.
Okay, so,
He's in charge of the whole unit down there, so he's the guy who puts his signature on the complaints and
Okay.
everything else and does the
And works
investigation.
for 3 bosses, so.
So-
Let's
give him the 3 grand.
So right now, there's nobody advocating for this.
Well, no, Mike's
So-
here,
we have
Sheriff.
Mike too.
We just brought it
Yeah,
up.
we tried to-
But you know something, going forward,
and he always says yes.
if you had to change the title of the position and with the description, with a salary, then he can apply for that job, and then next month or 2 months from now, he can apply for that job and eliminate the old job he has and shows a salary for that position. Would that work?
I don't know.
I don't.
Josh, can we do
Yes,
something like that? Instead of getting into a mess?
You know,
Whatever you
just
want.
not to go and wait for the vote, I just want to make my comments clear. We waited 3 years for this study, and I feel that
Reacting too fast.
we were never given a presentation, we've been given the data, and I have issues. I don't even know how they use the scoring system. Nothing was explained to us, and we're negotiating with many unions now. I still believe what we should have been doing is giving a percentage raise to everybody, have a better understanding of the study, and make adjustments during the year like we've done in the past. I'm gonna vote no on the budget because I feel that we've done this, it was rushed, and I truly don't understand all the changes. I don't know how they came up with their scoring system, and I would think after 3 years and what we spent, they would make a presentation to us. So I'll tell you, and I said it before, I think we should have just done 2% for everybody, and I'm gonna vote no against the budget because I don't feel that we were giving enough information to just do these one-ups and make changes, so.
Okay, so, Angela, I just want to be clear. What's the title?
It's senior accounts payable.
Senior
That's what you wanted
accounts
to say.
Payable coordinator,
And that position is already listed in the management salary.
and it's already listed, and what type of raise are you looking for there?
They were doing the numbers, they.
It go went up to the in the management schedule, the management schedule that's there, you either go up 3% or you go up to the next grade, so she was going up 3%.
Okay.
So I believe it was 8,085.
1,085, that includes the payroll taxes. The actual salary itself is 1,070.
Okay, so we're gonna give this, I'm just putting this out there, the 3%, right? So, and then we're talking about your guy up in DFS legal, DFS, what does he do exactly, Lou?
Investigator.
He's an investigator in
Fraud unit.
Fraud unit.
Fraud unit. He's in charge of the whole unit.
And so we haven't come up with a number, but, you know, here we have, you know, the lieutenant, you know, who's down by 14,000, and you have the captain who's down by about the same amount of money, and we're giving them 3,000. So I think giving this guy 3,000, well, is fair.
That's what the study is basically showing you, and I broke it down a little bit different than he did, and I did a little bit different. But the study is showing us that our employees are underpaid by a lot. And my main concern is that we keep this going on, in some departments, you're required to have a license to operate, such as the people in mental health, social service, the people working in the jail that have to be there. Soon, the sheriff is gonna find himself with nobody in the jail, because they're gonna head up to Orange County, where they're gonna make more money and spend the last 3 years, and we're not gonna be able to restock our people and have people to do the job here because our salaries are too low.
It'll be a brain drain.
You know, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand where I was coming from, but we cannot depend on outside hires, because if you look at what's happening in the state of New York, everybody is depending on outside hires, and they don't have the people to do the job.
Okay.
We're gonna find ourselves in trouble.
So, all right, so I have to ask Tom how to pull this thing off here, and
This is attachment A.
seamless.
We already have an amendment on the 120 of the sheriff, we have an amendment on the
Yeah.
attachment A. So you need
So, okay, so
motion
what-
and a second for the investigator and the senior.
Okay, so,
investigator.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes, ma'am.
what we need to do, since we have to rescind the previous vote.
You voted
the
on a roll
budget.
call vote and adopted a budget, so you need to
And this
rescind
was not
that.
attached,
Okay,
so
so-
now we
okay,
have
okay,
to
so-
rescind.
I got it.
Motion,
Motion to rescind.
Second.
Nadia, Joey, to rescind.
Do we have to do it in roll call fashion too?
We're gonna do. Do we have to do, no.
I don't know.
No.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right.
Again.
The previous motion on the 2022 budget has been rescinded.
Fantastic.
Now,
So
now
now-
present your amendment.
Okay, so now on attachment A that you all have in front of you,
Yeah.
we're adding the senior account payable coordinator at 3% raise of $1,085, and we're adding the investigator for $3,000, okay?
For now.
So I need a,
You need to call for the amendment,
That's it.
and then as amended.
okay, so,
And the as
I need a
amended motion
motion.
is a roll call.
Yeah,
The
yeah, okay.
amendment
I'll make
is
the
not.
motion on the amendment, or attachment,
Yeah,
whatever it's
attachment.
called.
Moved by Nadia,
I'll second it.
okay,
I got a question.
okay.
seconded by Mike.
So with these amendments, what dollar figure are we talking about?
So now you're talking 151,927. And some money for the pennies for the, so it's $230 more for the payroll tax. All right? So,
Plus the original amendment,
correct.
which is
That's the
318.
total.
That's in total.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so,
We have a discussion?
You just,
It's open for discussion.
Okay. So, what Iris stated about this report, I agree with them 100%.
I do too.
And I said it 2 weeks ago that, you know, we were jumping on some of these numbers. And Rob, you said, well, you've been waiting for it. Yeah, it came, but we didn't really, you know, dissect it a little bit and
I
like
agree.
understand it all. And we made decisions based on impulse. And it had to be done. And, you know, I'm gonna vote on the budget because it has to get done, but we should have done it a little differently. I think the 1-2% may not work in general because they're way under the job title
Well, I think you're right, Joe. I think every job in the county needs to be looked at because there's a lot of compression in titles throughout the whole union system. And I think that you need to take a better look at this, job study and really fit it all in together in one big piece.
Right, and I spoke to George the other night, actually, and some of the departments, from management to employee, like in Public Works, we have guys working now, the boots on the ground, are making just as much as their supervisors, not more, and they're looking to they want their job to be changed, because they'd rather be getting paid by the hour.
Yeah, correct. And that's
the reason why that's happening for, because the department heads don't get the ones and twos like the unions.
Correct.
And we should have been doing that along, like in the town of Falls, we've done that. The council people, supervisors, everybody. Whatever the unions got, we got as council people, just to keep that spread a little bit.
Yeah, correct.
As management. And going forward, next month in the management budget, I want to bring a resolution in that we do that for everybody, all department heads, management, that they get raises, because like I don't know what Angela gets paid, but whatever she got paid, she might not have got a raise in 3 years. Who doesn't get a raise in 3 years?
Few people.
It's paid by a term.
I don't. I mean, if I get, I work that day, I get paid. I don't. I eat pasta.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of pasta my day.
We used to be able to see it on you, now we don't.
So I'm going to vote for the budget, but I don't like some of the processes that we did that
Then I gotta go above the way down.
Because it's fully reimbursed by DFS. It's a stipend, it's not a.
I understand.
Right.
So, all in favor of the attachment?
A.
A.
Aye.
I'm against.
Aye.
8-1 with Ira opposed.
So now you have to do a roll call vote, is that correct?
Yes.
So all in favor of the resolution as amended?
Need a first and a second, then a roll call.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Doherty.
Yes.
Mrs. Reich.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
Mr. Salamone.
Yes.
Mr. Conklin.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Still awake?
Yes.
Mr. Perillo.
Yeah.
Mr. Steingart.
No.
Mr. Sorensen.
Yes.
8-1.
All right, so make a motion to adjourn.
No, I'm gonna bring one thing up,
Sure.
please. I was gonna bring this up on Thursday, but we're here today. This is just for everybody's consideration for further discussion. We have a new variant, right? Omicron is on the rise. Numbers of COVID are on the rise. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow or next week. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody else does here either. I believe we need to relook at our rules and moving forward have some kind of process that if we cannot get on Zoom, a phone call is acceptable. And if a legislator cannot get into a meeting, that the meeting be postponed until such time that that legislator can be brought into the meeting. The process has to change. And I'm going to bring you back to April 23rd, which was a horrific moment for me because I was excluded from having a vote and a say in a meeting. So moving forward, I'm asking that everybody here have some consideration and thought into a discussion, possibly Thursday, as to how we can amend the rules to make it easier for everybody to be included into a meeting.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, some of it, but some people are going to abuse it also. I mean, listen, I could be doing my paperwork out of my office and be zooming in.
No, this is only during the COVID period.
But we should have a Zoom.
Joe, would you really have wanted me here last week when I couldn't even talk?
We're not so sure we want you here now, though, when you're down.
But, you guys are me.
But, I mean, we have a responsibility. We have to be here.
I understand
if you
that,
have a serious situation, you call in and.
But when we get into a more closed down period like we were in 2020.
I hope that never happens again.
I hope not either, Joe, but you know what? What's wrong with being
Why don't you just
prepared?
agree to have the discussion Thursday, and then we'll be done.
The discussion has to happen in the executive
back,
by
excuse
the
me.
rules.
No, no, I know, but I'm
I
just
have to
bringing
give
this
blood,
up.
I'm
People
going
will
next
start
door
thinking
later.
about it.
The rules can only be changed
Giving blood.
by,
I'm not changing them here, I just want to put it out there.
Wait a minute, George is, hold on, what, George?
Steiger out.
He was just mocking me.
It's just, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
You're both right, I mean.
We can put down for discussion for,
But if we're closed down,
We gotta figure it out.
if we're closed,
okay, yeah.
then we can't have meetings any other way, what are you gonna do?
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Nadia,
Second.
Joe.